Hello. Hope you are good, guys. Doing well. Hello and welcome back. Hope you're good, doing well. So we are having a quick outlook, all right, for this week from this the first week of December. So we're gonna talk about that. So quickly, we're gonna look at the gold first. So if you remember that last week we spent a lot of time looking at the gold, comparing gold with others, and gold did well, yeah. So since last week, since last time we had the weekly market outlook, so gold did well. So we had a nice move, bullish move from this previous low, right? So we were having this wedge, yeah. I have shown that chart as well. So yes, we were expecting this to break out, if you remember that, and this low to hold, and then price to continue. So price did nicely, and we got a nice breakout, by the way. So all right, so we got a nice breakup, and this breakup, then we saw a sideways market broke out, and then we saw sideways market here and here and this area. We saw so much sellers. We saw so many sellers over there. They were trying to reverse the trend here at this area. Within this area, we saw sellers every time when price was hitting that top. We saw sellers were coming in, aggressive sellers were coming in, right? But they were struggling to reverse the trend right here. And then next we saw sellers here, and then finally we broke out, closed here, and then opened aggressively for this week, all right? And then we broke through that top, and currently gold is struggling over here at this previous top, and we are expecting it to break through and continue to keep pushing more higher, go towards that all-time high. Yeah, so that's the gold price action we had so far. All right, so yeah, still expecting this to continue to keep climbing and go and hit to the all-time high, where we are having all-time high at 43.80. The good thing is that the futures are still pointing more upside on this spot. All right, so we can see that the future is being traded at 42, almost 4,300. All right, the data is delayed here. All right, so we are not having, the data is delayed, so 15-minute candle is delayed here, so on this future. So we are expecting this to continue to keep climbing and hit that high. So this is an indication for you to that this is an indication for you to spot to keep climbing higher. All right, so we were expecting this. Yes, the chart, on Friday we were expecting this to go back up and hit that high, so we got a nice move over there. So let me find the chart for you. Okay, so the point here on this chart is that the gold has taken off on futures this high, okay, but we are still struggling on spot. Spot is still trying to break through and clearly go above that. So future is taken of that high, and 44. So future hit last time 43.80, 43.98 high, and spot tagged 43.81. 81. Let's see, 81. Yes, exactly at 81. So as long as we see that the future is pushing higher, so we're going to see that the spot is going to follow up. All right, let me find the chart. So we were expecting this to break through. Yeah, so we the future was $28. I mean, $8 lower from this November. I think 13th of November top, and while the spot was $55 below that 13th of November low. So we were expecting this to break through and hit that and break through. So we finally hit that, and we're expecting it to continue. All right, so there we can see that the price on Friday closed nicely bullish on gold, and we can see there that we broke through that 42. All right, so we are having sellers are coming over there at the current price. We'll look at the lower time frame. I'm just trying to explain generally on bigger time frame what's happening over there, what has happened over there. So we are having sellers are coming over there. All right, so we were expecting, you know, before starting this, we were expecting this to break through that top. So we broke through, but you know, still struggling. So sellers are coming over there. Sellers are trying to find a top over there on gold. All right, so sellers are coming over there and trying to find the top over there on gold, but I think we are having a very strong trend, okay, and we're going to continue to keep climbing, and we're going to claim all-time high. So we are having some assets which are pointing out that the trend going to stay intact. Okay, so the silver, okay, the silver broke through that high nicely. We were expecting silver to claim all that, I mean, hit that top again. All right, so we got a strong sell-off over there, and then correction. So nice move. We got a nice move over there. right? We tag that and then dropped again, okay, and then we were expecting it to go back up. So now we are expecting it to hit that 61st. Okay, so 61st. And be careful if you're buying silver at the current price without a pullback. You have to understand that, right? So you never know that when, you know, many players are going to come into the market and then they're going to, you know, drag it lower. Okay. So let me find Fed. Let me find that why we are having the the rise on commodities. This is the reason. So interest rate cut. So the meeting is due in 9 days. The Fed is coming in 9 days. So we can see there that expectations are 87.6% that the Fed going to cut the interest rate on this meeting on 31st of 10th of December, all right? So 10th of December, and they're expecting that they're going to cut, I mean, 90% chance we can say that they're going to cut the interest rate. I don't think so they're going to cut the interest rate, all right? That can change really quickly. So this is the main driver, right, for the goal to continue to keep pushing higher, and equities to continue to keep, I mean, all risk on assets to do well. This is the main reason. The expectations is that they're going to cut the interest rate with another 25 basis point on 10th of December. I don't think so this is going to happen. It can change really quickly, all right? I can't explain that why, all right, they're not going to cut, right? We can talk about that, why they not going to cut, all right? So what I believe that they're going to cut the interest rate very likely next month in January, all right? So now January is the 28th of January is at 70%. We can say that 70% this. So 350 to 375, 3.50 to 3.75. Very likely they're going to cut the interest rate on this in this meeting. Powell not going to cut on 10th of December. This is what I expect. Why market is pricing in for interest rate cut on 10th of December? Why we are having higher chances to cut the interest rate on 10th of December? The reason which I believe is that Trump gonna announce the new you know, Fed chair, and he said that he's gonna announce that on 25th of December. That's what market is pricing in. Market is pricing in for new chair to be dovish. All right, new Fed chair to be more dovish than the Powell, and I don't think so that the Powell gonna cut the interest rate on this meeting, and you know, can be blamed for higher inflation when he gonna leave later on. So I don't think so he gonna bow down to Trump, and very likely he gonna, you know, go without cutting interest rate on this. And yeah, January is very likely. So the reason, this is just a general reason, all right? The second reason which I believe that he not gonna cut is that the inflation is still high. Okay, before we're gonna look at the silver chart, you need to understand that what's happening with inflation. So we have seen the inflation chart before as well, guys. All right, so if I look at the inflation, USIR, right, There you go. This is the inflation. So inflation is at 3%. Inflation is at 3%. And the interest rate is USINTR is at coming down. USINTR is at 4%. This is delayed, I guess. So delayed data. So 4% at a 4%. So 4%. So if they're going to cut that, then if they're going to cut the interest rate, let's say on 10th of December, inflation is already at 3%. Okay, it's not at 2%. So bring in interest rate close to 350 or 375. 350 or 375 means that you're only going to have real rate just with 350 or 75. Yeah, with just 75, real interest rate going to be, real rate going to be at 75.75. means that the policy going to be loose, not going to be that restrictive, which can push the inflation further lower towards their target to 2%. This is the main reason which I believe that they're not going to cut the interest rate on 10, and they're going to give another month, and going to see that in January 26, that how this inflation picture going to unfold, right? So cutting on 10th, all right, risking for another push in the inflation rather than dragging towards their target, which is 2%. So we had data. Fed was saying that inflation without tariff is somewhere close to 240. All right, 240 or 260, the range. But adding tariffs, it is, we are having headline numbers close to 3%. So cutting means risking for another spike in the inflations, as we can see that the inflation is not close to their target, which is 2%. So I don't think so that they're going to risk that. They're going to give another month, and we'll see how inflation does next month in January. This is the main reason which I believe that they're not gonna, and that can change. All right, that can change. The 90% projection we are having right now that they're gonna cut on 10th, and we'll see. All right, if they're not gonna cut on 10th, all right, then everything which is just close to the top right now can turn upside down. mean the risk on assets which are close to all-time high, they can drop. That's my point. If market priced out rate cut on from 10th of November, everything can turn upside down. Okay, so silver can drop very, very aggressively to the downside. So far, market is priced in. Market is basically priced in for the next Fed chair to be dovish. So we can see some pressure is building over there. Bitcoin is down, right? So Bitcoin has dropped, is a sign that the risk on assets can drop, or market which has priced in for a rate cut that can turn upside down. So this is actually a sign that the risk on assets which close to the which are risk on assets. All right, so let me look at the risk on assets. So these are the risk on assets. So Nikkei dropped, and US 30, which is close to all-time high, that can drop to the downside as well. So you can see there, yeah, last time when we had the weekly market total, we were expecting this to hold that and reverse. We got that move, and then we saw sell off, and then we found a floor over there, and we went up. This is the move which I was talking about last week. So we got a Dow is back to the all-time high. Nasdaq is not exactly close to the all-time high, but back to the top. We can say that again. We can say that the Nasdaq is back to the top, and S&P 500 as well. We were expecting. So why they are back to the top? This is the reason. Okay, they are expecting interest rate cut on 10th of December rather than 28th 8th of January, next 20th January next month. Yeah, this is the reason which caused all these risk on assets to drop. But what we are having, Bitcoin has dropped, right? Bitcoin has gone down. So Bitcoin might be a sign that we may see drop on risk on assets, all right? And the market can quickly price out this interest rate hike. Inflation is at 3%, all right? The Fed target is 2%. Interest rate is at 4%. So if you want to push the inflation towards 2%, you have to keep the policy restrictive rather than making it loose. So if they're going to bring the interest rate to 3.75, means that risking the inflation to spike up. Risking the inflation to spike up rather than going towards 2%. All right. They're saying that the labor market is not doing good. Labor market is weakening, and we need to cut the interest based on that labor market. All right. But there is risk for the inflation to go up as well. So that's what I believe. I don't think so that they're going to cut the interest rates. Market has priced in already for that rate cut. That's my point. That's why you see that that's why you see this move. Yeah. Now you can see. Now you can understand that why this has happened. Because market is pricing in for a rate cut. Right? And what Bitcoin is doing, Bitcoin is pricing out for that rate cut. That's the point. Makes sense now, yeah? Okay, so if we go further down, further down on Bitcoin and we tag that low, all right, I'm expecting it to tag the 80K before we are going back up. I'm expecting it to tag the 80K. We were expecting it to hold the floor last. I mean, we're expecting it to just hit that, and then because there were so many buyers sitting over there. Let me check if we do have still buyers are sitting over there. Let's check that. So you never know that the buyers which are sitting over there, they're going to reverse the price or not. You never know that. You only can get the idea that where the liquidity is sitting and where they are, where the buyers are trying to jump into the market and trying to reverse the price. Okay, you never know that, but you can get the idea that where you can see some price action. Let me find the. Okay, so my order book is loading. So 80K, all right. So we had so much, but still having this is a big buyer. Okay, so sitting over there. So almost more than 2-3 weeks, he's still sitting over there with 320 coins. All right, it's not. I don't think so. He's spoofing or something like that. So seems that is a real buyer sitting over there at 80K. Before that, we had somewhere close to 500, almost 700 coins sitting over there around 80K last time when, you know, when price was dropping last time, but price did not hit the 80K and then reverse. So this seems to me a real buyer, not a spoofer, because this position is sitting over there more than 2 weeks. Okay, and ahead of that 80K, so many buyers also, you know, putting their pending orders there within these areas. So 80K is more likely we're gonna hit the 80K, and we may see that the price gonna reverse from 80K. Yeah, 80K is also a previous support as well. We can say that. So 80K gonna be a good place to watch for price to bounce off and hold and go back up. Yeah, so it's not a big position at the moment. So 320K is 320 is not looking big buyer at the moment. All right, but when price goes down towards that 80K, we can see big buyers can, I mean, more, you know, buyers can come in and can start I mean jumping in. So sellers are still there at the current price. We can see 87, yeah, but they are not that much strong, and above that it's clear. So pending orders are not much sitting over there on the order book for sell side at the moment. All right, and buyers want to hold that 80k area, or this place. All right, 80k or 78 for longer term. Now I'm talking about for longer term support at this area and then continue. So a point here is that we got a drop. Okay, we got a drop on Bitcoin. Means that the equities, okay, equities. So let's go to slightly a bigger time frame. Slightly a bigger time frame. US 30 did well, more than well than any other indices last week. Since last 2 weeks, since 21, it's doing really well than other indices. The dollar CAD chart is inverted here. Okay, so I don't think so you guys see that on 15-minute time frame. Let's go to slightly bigger time frame so that you can see. I guess this is okay. Yeah, much clearer candles now. 3 hours. So the move we are having on the risk on asset is simply a pricing in for the rate cut for 10th of December. Okay, so that's the point. Okay, so hopefully you can see clearly on my screen. The candles are very much clear. So the move started here, okay, this date, the 21st of November. So Bitcoin started to rise, bang. Okay, and went up to this top. So I'm gonna pull out another crossover there. Another that's okay, another. Yeah, now you can see there clearly. Now I'm gonna pull out another here. There. 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 And there. So let's find out the floor. Okay, so that's the floor. That's the top. Okay, so that's the floor. And that's the top. Floor. Top. So if I'm gonna pull out my fib lines, picture is becoming clear. Yeah, so little help. We are getting little help from that. What's happening here? So Bitcoin has dropped. I mean, the move started on all these assets on 21st of November. Yeah, this is telling us that the bullish move on risk on assets started on 21st of November. All right, so that's also gone up. BTC also found a floor on 21st of November there. Yeah, and now we can see there that Bitcoin yesterday night dropped to that low, or dropped to 61.8, all right, so 618 of this bullish move. So this might be a sign that the price out moment of that you know, rate cut, market is pricing out for that rate cut. So if we see further downside drop, okay, on Bitcoin, and we see that the Bitcoin drop towards that 80k, okay, so we may see other risk on assets, they can drop to, you know, we can see that the Nasdaq can drop too. All right, so I need to change one asset. Let me follow that. So let's remove that and pull out the Nikkei index there. So we saw some drop already on Nikkei, so yeah, so the move started on 21st. Let's change that a bit. There is the top, here is the top. So top, yeah, top and floor. So fib lines. Yeah, so some price action is already appeared over there, Nikkei index. JP225 already sold, very much similar like the drop we are having over there on Bitcoin. The reason why Nikkei index dropped, because Oeda said that you know, they may consider to raise the interest rate next month, this month, right, December. So they can consider to raise the interest rate, which caused that you know, Nikkei to go down and yen to gain. So if yen gains, all right, simply yen gains, then it's a sign for the risk of move. So point here is that we may see drop on indices, you know, later today and rest of the week. If we see that the Bitcoin continue to keep falling, toward Bitcoin dropped last night and dropped before that, we can say that, I mean, a little you know, a lag was there. So understand that, yeah, what this is telling, what this picture is telling what to do. Okay, if what happens, then what to do. I mean, which pair you can go, how to trade. Yeah, if you understand this picture, you will easily understand that how to, which pair, which asset to pick to trade. All right, so yeah, if Nikkei continue to keep falling, or I mean, if Bitcoin continue to keep falling towards that 80k, yeah, you're gonna see that the other risk on assets, they also gonna follow the Bitcoin, right? So we may see a retest of this low again. That's my point, right? That's the point. So which asset to pick? If you don't know which asset to pick, the easiest asset to pick for you to trade gonna be the Australian dollar, right? The Australian dollar. If all other goes down, Australian dollar will take ages to go down. Yeah, it will give you enough time to trade on that, and you can sell it from that top and can catch that move. All right, so yeah, that's the picture. Okay, so when you understand this picture and buying gold aggressively at the current price, okay, you have to be careful. Yeah, you have to be careful. So if equities goes down, if equities fall, Bitcoin, gold will find a top over there and can fall back into the correction. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting picture. I mean, yeah, just watch it later on how it does, how market does. Okay, we got a drop. Let me go and look at this. All right, so sellers are still sitting over there at the current. Yeah, we can see that the sellers are still coming. We are still having sellers. Okay, so we are still having sellers. They are still, some good pressure is there over there on sellers. 61, 60, 57, 27, 49. Yeah, so matching the buyers. Buyers are not, buyers are not more than the sellers. So you still get, you're still having pressure on the Bitcoin for the downside. So okay, so we can see we don't have at the moment for indication for this next move. Okay, I don't have that next leg drop indication that we're gonna have that next leg lower. But what we are having indication for the other assets to follow, other assets to drop and continue to keep following the Bitcoin. That's what I have just shown you on the other chart. Okay, we got a breakup of this move. All right, so and Bitcoin, maybe we're not gonna get that move. Okay, and it's gonna go back up. You never know that. All right, you never know that. We don't have that indication. But what indication we are having is that the Bitcoin, which is a risk on assets, okay, has dropped. Okay, and can drag lower, tech stock as well with it. Okay, and risk on currencies can follow that. All right. Okay, so 80K, yeah, 80K, and we are expecting it to break down. So now let's get back to the silver chart now. Understand this picture, okay? When you understand this picture and you're buying silver over there, again, you're coming and buying silver over there. Oh, it's gonna go to 70. Let's buy. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Maybe you're gonna be lucky enough to get that trade, okay, but there is a risk that a price can fall very, very aggressively from that top, or even can continue to keep climbing. You never know. All right, you never know. You only can expect that what price can. You never know that either the buyer's gonna come and seller's gonna come. Who's gonna come with full force? You never know. You only can find a good setup, and when conditions meeting to that setup, you can trade in, and you can let the market do. Okay, what my point here is that we broke through all these tops. Okay, and there banks are expecting that the silver gonna continue to keep climbing. All right, so you need buyers for that. All right, silver to go to 100 or 80 or something like that. You need so much liquidity for price to continue to keep pushing for that high. You only can expect that gonna come based on the demand. All right, so you never know. You only can expect. You never know that either that gonna come and when gonna come, when not gonna come. All right, so my point here, simple point here, is that if you're buying silver at the current price, you have to be really careful. That's the point. And if you are selling, still you have to be really careful until you see a clear price action appears over there, like I have shown on the Bitcoin, and if that price action started to appear, you can try to counter it. Okay, but countering these metals which are very, very strong, trending for upside, carry risk. Okay, so we are expecting it to continue to keep climbing at the moment. All right, continue to keep climbing towards that 60. That's the point. And do we have a buy opportunity over there? No, we don't have buy opportunity over there. Okay, but where we are having buy opportunity on the other assets. All right, on the other, I mean, still, I mean, the buy opportunity, I have to find the chart. We're expecting a buy opportunity. Let me quickly go and look at that. Even last week we have spoken about that. So somewhere here we were expecting buy opportunity on 19th of November. Okay, so in the last weekly market outlook, we were expecting this 5-minute and 50-minute opportunity. Yeah, this lower time frame opportunity. It did well on lower time frame, on 5-minute time frame, and price hit the target. And after that, we got a little deeper. I mean, channel, ascending channel. Price went into an ascending channel and then broke out the ascending channel for further upside. Okay, so luckily I found the indices chart as well. I'm gonna show you those charts as well. I'm trying to look at the gold charts. Gold chart. Let me find that. All right, so there. So correlation can break for some time between the Bitcoin and the indices. So if that happens, it doesn't mean anything. We can. I mean, I mean, if equity still can slightly push up before going to get down. That's my point. Yeah, this is the, I guess this, no, not this one. Not 20, so it's supposed to be 24, I guess. 20. There you go. Finally, I find that chart. Okay, so this is what we were expecting last week. We were expecting it to hold at this floor. Yeah, last time we were expecting this channel to break out and this to hold that floor and continue to keep climbing higher. So actually there was the opportunity, buy opportunity for medium to longer term last week. So that did well. Okay, this correction. So we had this correction, right? And price held these lows, these areas, and still climbing up. All right, still climbing up, and we are expecting this to break out and hit that high. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, And a similar opportunity was there on the gold and yen. So gold yen was close to the top, wasn't that much worth taking, but yeah, was a good opportunity over there at that. And indices went higher. Yeah, so I'm gonna look at this. This is the last week we're expecting indices to do. Indices did well, so US 30 started to catch up, and Nasdaq 100 index also, yeah, move. This wave was led by the gold last week, if you remember that. Yes, when gold went higher, and we were expecting it to indices to follow the gold. All right, so yeah, yeah, so similar kind of trade we can expect at the current price, but you have to keep in your mind that I was showing the Bitcoin, okay, on my right side, Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin dropped. All right, so the move started on 21st. Yeah, market started to price in for 21st of November. Yeah, and we are having a drop over there on Bitcoin at the current price. I'm gonna pull out the there and that top. Yeah, so okay, so we dropped. We are having drop there. So all right, so we are having drop, this drop. Okay, so, and here we are expecting this to continue. Yeah. So this is, I mean, this buy opportunity is not in line with other risk on assets. So remember last week what I said, that if equities continue to keep rising, we're going to see that the gold will continue to keep rising. Remember the money supply concept, yeah, which I said that if more money comes into the market, you're going to see that the gold also going to continue to keep rising, and the equity is going to continue to keep rising. We may see rotation for some time. Yeah, so rotation can happen, which can create this lag. All right, so when you are buying gold here for this move, you have to keep in your mind that we can see a breakdown and can fall back to that low before we're going to continue to keep pushing back towards that all-time high. I'm not anticipating this move, all right? But you have to be prepared that when that can happen. Okay, if equities start falling, if equities start following the Bitcoin, okay, on the other chart which I have shown that, then you're going to see that the gold going to follow that. Okay, so right now what we are expecting on gold to do, just continue. All right, sellers are trying to push the, let me take out that and go back. Sellers are coming over there. Okay, they are coming over there at this area. We are having sellers, and as I said, they are liar sellers. All right, so sellers, but they are struggling to reverse the trend, and we saw that aggressive breakout very much similar like that. Okay, so we are still expecting it to stay trending. All right, come hold, okay, and continue to keep trending towards that high. We are having so many reasons for commodities to continue. Another reason we are having is that the silver, okay, so silver is very strong against the yen. Okay, we not stopping at all. Look at that, where we have gone, where silver has gone against the yen. Very strong. Silver is pointing something similar kind of move on gold. Okay, but last time when silver went to the all-time high, hit the all-time high, we did not see gold to do the same. So we have to keep that in mind as well, guys. Yeah, here. At this area. Okay, when silver was hitting this all-time high, but gold did not hit that all-time high. Okay, gold dropped. Gold dropped, and then gold find a floor over there, and then started to continue to keep rising. Okay, we are expecting this move to appear over there. Okay, this move to appear over there, something to happen, and gold to just go after that, quickly go after that, and claim that all-time high. That's what we're expecting, similar move to appear over there rather than gold to follow the Bitcoin. All right, so we have left all these corrections, that correction, this bigger correction, we have left this correction, gone all the way higher, gone, and then sharp correction, all these correction, and bang, so much aggressive move we saw over there. The reason is very much simple, guys. Why yen is falling like that? The reason is simple, because they are just printing, you know, more yens. They are just keep printing the yen. Fund is not stopping. They are just, you know, keep printing, keep issuing the bonds. More yens are coming into the market, causing the currency to fall like that. Okay, so another thing you need to keep in your mind, okay, there is so much pressure building on Ministry of Finance to do something, and they are constantly saying that they are, you know, not happy with that dollar yen move. Dollar is rising against the yen. They are not happy with that, and successfully they have driven dollar lower against the yen just by commenting, all right, just by saying that they are not happy with these moves, with the rising dollar against the yen. So far successfully they have dropped dollar against the yen from 57 to 55, right? But there is no concrete action which can reverse this trend for the downside, either intervention, zero intervention yet, okay, or Ueda is just saying that they're going to raise the interest rate, but they haven't raised the interest rate. So the higher the dollar yen goes, means there are more chances for the intervention or the interest rate hike, because they have to stop that rise. And I don't think so that you know, anytime soon we're going to see that the dollar going to drop against the yen, or yen going to get stronger. All right, so yeah, so we're still expecting it to go back up, or in other words, I'm saying that yen to just keep getting weaker against the commodities, against the silver, and against the dollar. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this was the best. The all right, so this was the best. This was the best gold against the yen. This was the best, breaking all-time high while we are having that the dollar is still strong. We are not you know, you're still not testing the all-time high. So this is the move. We are still expecting that move to happen. In case if we don't get that move, all right, let's say if dollar start getting stronger, then another leg lower, test this low, right, and go back up towards that. I'm not expecting that move, but in case if that happens. So let's talk about the lower time frame now, what to look for the lower time frame on gold. All right, so simply go to your lower time frame. Buyers are still coming in. Okay, buyers are still coming in, and we can see there that the trend is still intact. Every time when it's being sold, it's being bought. Buyers are still strong. Sellers are not that much strong. Okay, so all right, so we can see there all these corrections are being bought on lower time frame or short term. Okay, and I'm anticipating this to just continue, stay trending for upside. Okay, breakout, and these corrections to just break out and continue to keep rising. Stay trending, stay above those moving averages, and continue to keep rising. here on lower time frame for now. Okay, let me look at the, okay, yeah, for now we can see there that the euro is rising. Again, similar move to appear over there. Okay, so euro has taken out that high, and this shot to move to. Okay, so we can see there that the euro has taken up. And broken that top. All right, so we got a pullback, went up, then dropped, and we went up, and gold is just correcting, and we got the next move. All right, so we are looking for the same move, this move, like this move to happen here, and continue to keep rising. All right, so, and in best case scenario, is to continue to keep rising further. I said that the all-time high. Okay, so these pullbacks, the short-term pullbacks, are good to go for long-term, for short-term buy. Yeah, these dips, look for them to buy. So that's the lower time frame. All right, that's what you're looking at lower time. That's gold. All right, that's gold. Now let's look at the others. Same here. Okay, in worst case scenario, sharp sell-off, go to the floor, and then this. Okay, this bigger sideways, bigger flat. Okay, not anticipating this move, as we can see that the silver is climbing against the yen, gold is not. Yeah, this to go and hit that. Yeah. Okay, let's take that chart as well. Okay, so here, similar move you're expecting on the gold to give you. All right, this move to happen here on gold. Yeah. So which pair, still these gold charts are still tradable. Okay, they are continue to keep rising. Okay, if we, this is the structure. Okay, so I'm gonna simply draw, all right, this structure. Okay, this is where we are going. Other charts. Okay, this is the target, 4,500 target on gold. Okay, if we get that 4,500 target on gold in longer term, yeah, all these charts, they're gonna follow up. They're still behind that gold chart and behind the silver chart. Yeah, the Australian dollar is strong because the commodities are strong, a bit strong. Okay, so it has to get weaker. So when this gonna get weaker, you're gonna see that these lagging charts, they're gonna catch up. I mean, where the silver against the yen here at that top. Okay, at that top, but these charts are still, sitting behind. So in case if you see that another pullback is coming like that, okay, and we are visiting these lows, all right, this support area, so still gonna be a buy opportunity. All right, this move. So I'm not anticipating this to happen. I'm anticipating this to just continue to keep rising. All right, as I said that on, as I have just shown you 3-minute chart on gold. Yeah, so yeah, just continue to keep rising, similar like that, 3-minute time frame chart to continue to keep rising. Okay, so yeah, same on this. If in worst case scenario, bigger sideways, support area, and still this move. Okay, this is the move we are expecting right now. Or maybe hold that support area again and then go back up. Euro against the gold, similar picture. Okay, what's the target? The first target is this. All right, so if we don't get that move, okay, hold that support, go back up. All right, 4,000 on gold against the euro, 4K target. All right, so 4K. Okay, so here we can see that the gold is more stronger against the chief rather than against the euro. So I'm anticipating this to just take out that top and go more higher. It's struggling. It's struggling to take out that top. This one. All right, euro. Euro is more stronger than the chief. Yeah, picture is a bit clear now, so this top. Yeah, you can see there that has broken out and gone higher, so broken through that top, broken through. But struggling to continue, so we are at double eight, all right? We are at 88% of this move. We have retraced 88% of that move, but we have retraced 78%. So yeah, you go and keep that. So similar lower time frame, analysis, 3-minute time frame analysis, which I have shown. Yeah, short-term trades in 3-minute time frame to continue. The higher the goal goes against the chief, okay, if the higher this goes, okay, will make your case stronger for the goal to get stronger against the euro. Both currencies are correlated to each other, euro and chief. If euro goes down, highly likely you're going to see that the chief going to follow up. If chief goes down, euro going to follow up. So that's what we are anticipating right now. Okay, so these three charts to follow each other. Which 3 charts? Add pound in them. Euro, gold chief, gold euro, and gold pound. Yeah, gold against the pound was already close to that high. Yeah, so break through that top and claim the all-time high. So pound has already gone up, so very much the move is very much gone on gold, all right? So if you I mean, we were expecting this, okay? We were expecting this buy opportunity to happen, all right? So yeah, when you see such kind of sell over there on gold, obviously you start thinking that, is this enough on gold? Remember last month what was happening over there? Gold was in the headlines. Everyone was just talking about gold, all right? And suddenly we saw pressure on gold, all right? So big players, they jump in, they started to put some lid on gold, and they sold, all right? They sold gold, all right? So they did not sold gold, all right? They simply manipulated gold prices, all right? But they cannot cannot held on those cells for much longer, and we are reclaiming that all-time high again. Okay, that was a buy opportunity for longer term at that time. So we were tracking that very closely since since last month, October, start of the November. We were expecting that the gold gonna claim back that high. Now the question is, okay, Now the question is again the same question. Either we are going to see again similar kind of sell, the sell we had last time, or sellers no gonna you know dare to do that again. Remember the indicator I used? Okay, so let's look at this again. Okay, we are claiming back that high. Hopefully we're gonna get through that. So you gotta sell off with big hands. That was a very violent sell. 3.5 trillion, right? So if the 3.5 trillion or 3.1 according to this exact 3.1 trillion worth of valuation just wiped out from gold when gold dropped from that. You definitely, I mean, somebody cashed out gold, somebody cashed out their taken out their profit aggressively, and some sellers jump in. That's why we saw that much a sell. Okay, and then just look at that. 3.2 came in, and we need 3.23 trillion valuation again added. So just another $700 billion worth need. All right, so valuation we need this to continue to keep going higher. Yeah, so this is over now. Okay, so you need similar kind of price behavior again for the price to push down. Okay, I mean, players who did that last time, okay, those who profit taking or new sellers, all right, or manipulation, whatever happened over there at last time. Yeah, so you need same hand, same big hands, strong hands again for the gold to go down. Yeah, so you cannot do that again and again. All right, you can do it once, you can manipulate it, okay, but you can end up again when you see this that the trend is again building up. Okay, anyway, whatever happens over there on the gold chart, if it goes down, it is going to create a buy opportunity again. Yeah, so yeah, that's your gold chart. All right, that's your gold chart. Okay, so good luck, and if you caught that last week, yeah, this good luck. All right, so let's look at these are the gold chart. All right, let's look at the euro. All right, so euro, we were expecting euro to go down. All right, last I mean, longer term we are still expecting euro to go down. Okay, and yeah, so we saw that gold is climbing back up, so euro is going back up. So what to do, how to trade on the euro is the question. Okay, how are you going to trade on the euro now? All right, so euro is bullish short term. Okay, and the move which I'm talking about on the gold, okay, this bullish move, if you don't get that bullish move, okay, and golds fall back to that low, okay, you are simply selling the currencies. You're selling the euro, you're selling the pound against the dollar, you're selling the Australian dollar. Yeah, Australian dollar is at a good spot. Yeah, maybe ignoring the New Zealand dollar, but not now, right? But not now. You cannot sell them now because the currencies are catching up the gold right now. Currencies were behind the gold. Gold caught up. Priced in for the rate card. Now currencies are catching up that move. Okay, maybe you're not gonna understand that. Let me. Okay, so there where I was anticipating that the euro has done its bearish move, all right, and we are going back up. So we made that move. Okay, so the logic is same again. The logic which I have given that on this chart. Yeah, the logic is same. So let me tell you again by drawing some lines on that. Okay, so let's remove that, pull out the floor. Okay, so this is the floor. Yes, gold found its floor a bit earlier. Okay, there gold find its floor. Okay, at this area. And then after that we saw floor on euro. Okay, this I'm gonna draw exactly there that you can remember, okay, in this area. But the euro found its floor here, okay, at this area. You see the time differences over there. Okay, so date is same, okay, but the time is different. The date is 21st on gold, when gold find its floor there, and then gold went higher. Okay, and euro find, just a second, euro find, okay, you see that the date is same. Okay, here is the exact date, here is the exact date and time. Okay, at this area, here is the exact date and time, 21 November 21 and 6. Okay, and 6. Okay, but euro found its floor here at this area after 4, 4, 8, 12 hours. After 12 hours we found the floor on the euro. Okay, after 12 hours, enough time to plan your trade. Yeah, 4 hours. One candle is a 4-hour candle, so 3 candles, 4 plus 12, so 12 hours. You got enough time to plan your trade for the downside. So we are catching up that move. Okay, we are catching up this move. We're catching up this move. Okay, so okay, so if gold continue to keep pushing higher, you're gonna see that the euro gonna continue to keep following. If you see that the gold goes down like we are having on the Bitcoin, okay, then you're selling the currencies. That's my point. You start selling the currencies, will give you enough time to catch a trade. Okay, like currency has given enough time here to catch a trade for buy upside. Yeah. All right, so euro to find a top over there soon, okay, and go down. Okay, we don't have indication that the euro is, you know, is set to fall, so we can see slightly more push up, okay, and before we can see drop. So you're paying attention on these resistance areas. You're just waiting for something to lead you, and then you start selling the euro. All right, these areas. So definitely there is a sell opportunities building over there. Okay, so sooner or later you're gonna see that. Another thing you need to keep in your mind, okay, why sell opportunity is building over there, because silver is making new all-time high, gold is close to new all-time high. They cannot continue to keep rising the way they are doing right now. At some point they're gonna, you know, go into correction, or they will be sold, okay, and dollar gonna gain. Once that happens, okay, there are gonna be opportunity on the currencies to go down. All right, so you're looking for slightly more push up, and once this opportunity, all right, will be over there at sooner or later. Buy movies already happened. Same goes with the pound. Right now the pound to push for another leg higher. Right, and pound can slightly push more higher. Not that much high, but yes, like this leg, all right, like this much, or in best case scenario, go that way, and then again we're gonna expect it to go down. Okay, remember pricing in for rate cut. That's the reason they are, you know, and then going higher. So, and dollar CAD to go other way. Okay, so we are expecting dollar CAD to go back up. All right, go back up. All right, so a US 10-year yield. So priced in. Okay, so yield went down. Yeah. So the pricing in for the rate cut, the chart which I have shown you, the Fed watch tool, 90% chances that they're going to cut the interest rate. That's why we saw that. But now, now it's realizing that, I mean, pricing out. All right. So yields can price out the for rate cut. Reason I told you that the price can price out, okay, but longer term, yes, goes down towards 2%. They can price out. The Bitcoin is I have already talked about that. Okay, one more leg lower, and let me remove that. So watch your, go down, tag that low, and then watch a price action over there, and then you're looking at to go back up. All right, we may see price action over there. Let's draw some, some structure on it. Okay, we are still having very strong bullish trend. Nothing has happened over there. Right, last time, again, look at this chart. Right, so nice move we had over there, and then we are coming back to that low again. So yeah, what chart you should look at that. Look at the, I'm just thinking which chart you should focus on for Bitcoin to hold the floor. All right, so it will definitely gonna go back up, that's for sure. I'm trying to think. All right, so let me find the 1 week here. It should appear over there. Go to the profile. So Bitcoin, BTC. Yeah, this is the chart which I was looking. Okay, so copper, we were using copper as a lead for the Bitcoin to rise, and copper did well at that time. So, and on the other hand, we were using, you see that copper chart did well. So that copper chart, on the other hand, we were using another chart as well. So the interest rate chart as well. Yeah, here, this chart. All right, so this chart. Yeah, so last time when we saw huge strength on the Bitcoin, okay, we saw interest rates were falling, right? And we saw huge, and then we were expecting again rates to go down, okay, and the next move to happen. So rate rate are coming down. Okay, rate are coming down, but they are not there where they're supposed to be. Okay, 2%. And Bitcoin started to price in for that, right? Interest rate cut, and find a new all-time high. Yes, it's 20k, right? That time, and 20k. This chart is showing 20k, and we saw a huge strength. Okay, I'm gonna look at the similar chart again. So we're gonna pull out that chart again. 2-year yield and 2-year yield, Fed fund rate, and Bitcoin, and let's see what they are showing us. The updated chart. Yeah, rates are coming down. So interest rate is at 4%. Below that 4% on the 2-year yield. So 4% is the 10-year yield. Okay, so I'm gonna look at that chart, the same chart again. So we need a Bitcoin. Okay, I'm making your case strong. Why Bitcoin? I mean, those who are looking for buy the, I mean, those who are still long on the Bitcoin and just worried that it's dropping and what to do, right? So nothing gonna happen. So let me find the 2-year yield. Right, so it's just coming down, so that big players, I mean, you remember the stable coins are coming. More stable, more people, more players, they are jumping into the stable coin business. And when money gonna come into the stable coins, that's gonna be a backbone for Bitcoin to continue its trend. Right, because lower interest rate means you can borrow more money, can put into the business, and you can run that business. So interest rate coming down, so we need US 2-year yield is not there, so we have to find it. Right, so US 02. It's at 350. It's priced in for rate cut. It's already priced in for rate cut. Okay, so this is the chart. Okay, where this chart, not this chart, that chart. Okay, so we're gonna have update of this chart. Right, so here, so line chart, what time frame? So 2 month. Okay, and let's pull out the Bitcoin. What time frame? 2 week, 2 week, yes, 2 week. Right, so if I'm gonna pull out the interest rate, before pulling out the interest rate, inflation, USIRYY, and then USINTR. So inflation is at 3% right now. Okay, so inflation actually tells us that where the interest rate goes. All right, so last time this chart, okay, when I posted that chart, so Bitcoin was 20k, and we had that run 70k, or went up to 126k. Yeah, okay, and the logic behind was that the inflation went up. Inflation was very high at that time. Yeah, so 20, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, so we can find out where was the inflation at that time. But the basic idea behind that was the interest rate is going to come down. Yeah, so interest rate came down at right now at 350. okay, helped Bitcoin to get that leg. Okay, now the current picture, get this leg appeared. Okay, and this leg appeared on the Bitcoin. So we went from this low to that high. Okay, and how much drop we saw in the interest rate? Just this much, from 5 to 350. Okay, from 5, you know, 1.50, 1.5, all right, 1.5% drop. We just saw 1.5% drop in the interest rate, which have that leg to appear over there. All right, so don't need to worry about this move. Okay, we are not going there. Interest rate is not going there. Why? Because inflation is heading towards that 2% target. Yeah, so inflation target is 2%. So inflation is heading towards 2% target, and rates are following to the inflation. All right, so interest rate gonna go there where the inflation is. If inflation is 2%, right now it's 3%. All right, if inflation is 2%, rates are coming down, means that more cheap money is going to come into the market. When more cheap money is going to come into the market, okay, we're going to see the next move over there on the Bitcoin. So this is simply an opportunity. Yeah, so this is simply an opportunity for Bitcoin to go back up to 125k, or my projection is at least 150k first, all right, before going to go towards that 200k. Yeah, we are not having that much market cap, okay, on the Bitcoin market cap is very small as with compared to the other assets. Gold 82 trillion, and and Bitcoin is having somewhere, you know, 2 trillion, close to 2 trillion market cap. Yeah, so when interest rate gonna come, means that you can borrow cheaply and you can invest, like in, I mean, you can make your own stable coins, you can put your money over there, and bang, you can, you know, I mean, so much cheap money gonna come in when interest rate gonna continue to keep falling, and that money gonna obviously appear in these you know, in these risk on assets. All right, you're gonna see that money gonna appear in Bitcoin, Nasdaq 100x, S&P 500, US 30, all those risk assets, they're going to continue to keep climbing higher. That's why Trump is shouting that to cut the interest rate, so that, you know, the payment, I mean, they can borrow cheaply, right? And the interest payment can come down. All right, so I mean, yeah, so we are not going to see something like that. When we saw, you know, interest rate went to zero, right? When inflation, everything went to zero, and Bitcoin was there in 2020 at this area. Okay, it dropped, corrected, remained sideways, and then started to rise very, very aggressively. We saw a very big move over there. All right, and again corrected and then took off. So finger crossed, okay, and hoping for another leg higher towards that towards that 120 150k. All right, so far right now we are still in a bearish trend. Still in the bearish trend. We broke that correction again. Okay, and very likely we can see another breakout for the downside. And breakout comes, right, and then go back up. Yeah, now makes sense. Yeah, every low should be watched carefully or buy opportunity. Yeah, so we are having support over there and this previous low as well at 75k. Okay, so Bitcoin, Ethereum is very much same but more weaker than the Bitcoin. The only reason which I see on the Ethereum to not follow the Bitcoin is the supply. Yeah, so supply is very high over there on the Ethereum. So if I'm gonna look at this chart, yeah, so we got a nice move up on Ethereum. It went to the all-time high. Okay, so we saw this is the lower time frame at 1100, and we saw that it took off and went up to broke above the all-time high last time. All right, so my point here is that the Bitcoin has fallen, but Ethereum has fallen more than that. Okay, and very likely we're going to see similar floor, the floor which we are having on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to the 75k, all right, so this is the floor. There is no reason to start buying the Ethereum right now. Okay, if you're going to buy Ethereum right now, you can end up buying it at a higher price. It's still very well behind that. Right? You can see there. So let me show you a different picture first before I'm going to talk about this, what I'm talking on the lower time frame. We're going to talk about that later on. So okay, let me go to, right, it's not easy to it's not that easy. All right, so just a second, let me look at this chart right here. That gone. So is this chart, okay? This chart, yeah, for example, I do have more chart as well, but for example, this is okay. So we can see there that the Bitcoin was rising. Okay, Bitcoin went up from 25k, all right, 25k to back to that top 32, but Ethereum was lagging, all right, and Ethereum went up and caught up that move later on. Let me check if I do have the updated chart. Right in there we can see there. So yeah, this is we saw, and then Ethereum started to catch up. Yeah, we hit that top, and Bitcoin went further up. Much clear, yeah, clear there. Right, so based on that correlation, okay, know the point. Based on that correlation, Ethereum should hit that 10k mark or at least 8k before going to get down. So we can see there that the correlation has little broken or changed a bit, as we can see that there are many coins came into the market which are providing similar services like Ethereum, is simply putting, you know, a big dent into the Ethereum demand. Okay, if I'm going to pull out my fib line from there to there, Okay, and here Ethereum on Ethereum, from this to that. Here the chart which I've just shown you in 4-hour time frame. As Bitcoin was rising, Ethereum was catching up the Bitcoin. Okay, but that did not happen here. Okay, it's supposed to hit that 78%. Okay, of this extending move. This is the extending move, so it's supposed to hit that 78%, which is close to 9k, or 9,000 or 8,800. So it's supposed to give us a very much similar move over there, but we did not get that move. Okay? We came from this low, the charts which I have just shown you. Yeah, this move happened, right? And we were expecting Ethereum to do that and do the same. It did. It tagged that top and then started to fall. Right, started to fall. We did not see the exact mirrored move here on Ethereum. Okay, and the reason which I believe that why, the one which I just said, that the supply, right, and the other thing is that many other competitors are there in the market which are causing Ethereum to not pick up the Bitcoin. Okay, so you think that Bitcoin and the Ethereum gonna hold that 3k and gonna continue to keep pushing more higher, right? Not the time yet. All right, I think it's okay from my end. I don't see any. Yeah, I think it's okay from my end. All right, so let me find the supply chart. Supply on Ethereum is, yeah, you can come up with the reason that, technically this is not infinite, but I believe that it's a infinite supply. Right, main reason, max supply is infinite. Circulating supply is 120 million Ethereum, I guess. Yeah, so main reason. Other competitors are there, max supply is there. All right, causing Ethereum to not catch up the similar move which we are having on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin hit the 150k in coming years and go towards 200k, yes, then you can expect Ethereum to give you somewhere 6,000, 7,000, or 10,000, all right? But expecting something like 30,000 or 50,000 or something like that kind of move is out of context yet. Okay, now you understand the bigger picture. Okay, the correlation is breaking between the Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum did not follow up. Before we had that perfect correlation right here and back in 23. Yeah, so we caught that move, okay, but we did not sustain the trend here. Did not sustain the trend. We went down. We did not sustain the trend all the way towards the high. Okay, so similarly, so Bitcoin, Ethereum is more bearish as with compared to the Bitcoin. Okay, more under pressure. Okay, we did not see that move. Staying more sideways here. All right. Now keeping that thing in mind, the lower time frame now, right? Okay, so lower time frame, 4-hour time frame. Okay, so if we hit that 70 this area. Okay, we hit this area. So you're gonna see that the Ethereum carry a risk to go to this previous low. Okay, this previous low. So we, yeah, maybe some of you guys not gonna digest that move, right? Maybe some of you guys not gonna digest that move. Seems a very big move to the downside. Yeah, very big move at $1,400 move, right? But there is a risk for Ethereum to visit these lows again. Okay, the $1,400. Yeah, and then going to be a good opportunity to buy again for longer term. Yeah, so if we, as I said, if we get that next leg lower, okay, we can see drop over there as well. So you may not, I mean, we may not see floor over there at this area. Again, we can visit these 7 April, 8 April lows, and then we can get a buy opportunity over there. As Ethereum is more under pressure as with compared to the Bitcoin. So buying Ethereum at the current price is not a sensible idea. Okay, so more drop and then you're expecting it to hold these lows again for longer term. Yeah, these areas 1400. No, I'm not looking at the altcoins yet, right? So yeah, on the other time, other charts, yeah, so one more leg lower simply and hit the floor. Let me go on the equities, you know, quick clearly. Okay, what's happening on the equities? So let me draw a more clear picture over there. Very, you know, similar, same pattern you're gonna see over there on the equities, and it will give you a good indication that where you're expecting the buy opportunity. Okay, so we are again this floor, this definitely support area to hit and hold. All right, hit that or slightly lower than that, and then go back up. All right, so trending, straight trending, but within that trend, we still can see another leg lower. All right, and then continue to stay bullish. So a bit more clear picture now. Okay, one more leg lower, support area, like I have shown you this chart. All right, this chart, we can see that the Nikkei is slightly dragging more lower here. Okay, slightly dragging more lower here and back to that previous low. Okay, so if you see these continue to keep dragging lower, opportunity is going to be over there to catch up or risk of move. Okay, so pull out. So yeah, go down or test that low, test this low or new low. Test that low or new low and then go back up. Okay, so same picture on the others. Same picture. Let me remove that. Let's look at the Nasdaq 100 index first.